Greetings, everyone. I'm Sarah from Think for Earth, a group of students that's driven and dedicated to finding solutions for climate related issues. As a team, we've explored how human activities are contributing to water pollution in Malaysia. Hence, today, each of us will be sharing our ideas on how to put a stop to this before it gets too late. Now, I know we've all seen it, rivers in Malaysia turning into dark, polluted drains. We scroll past the photos and maybe even thought to ourselves, someone should fix this. But what if that someone is the very companies that are making money out of this while our rivers pay the price? As you all know, many companies in Malaysia carry out industrial operations such as chemical processing and manufacturing. As a result of these activities, they release wastewater containing oil, chemicals, and heavy metals directly into the rivers. However, according to Malaysia's Environmental Performance Index reported by Yale University in 2024, only 22.9% of the wastewaters are properly treated before being released. This shows that a large portion of industrial wastewater enter rivers untreated, putting both people and the environment at risk. Now, the issue grows when companies continuously prioritize profit over responsibility. Some companies avoid proper treatment or even ignore regulations because of the weak enforcement. We've already seen the consequences, however. In the 2019 Sungai Kim Kim disaster in Pasir Gudang, illegal chemical dumping affected over 2,000 people with many hospitalized, and 111 schools were forced to close. This shows just how corporate decisions can directly harm communities. If nothing changes, we risk worsening pollution, water shortages, and even eventually long-term environmental damage. So, our solution is simple. Companies should track and report their wastewater through independent audits and publish the data so that communities know and can see what is entering their rivers. Larger companies must invest in proper treatment systems, while smaller businesses can use shared facilities to reduce costs. Hence, before I end my speech, I strongly urge everyone to support companies that are responsible with their wastewater by reporting any companies that pollute the river irresponsibly to the Department of Environment Malaysia through their grievance channels. Remember, speak up, stay informed, and hold businesses accountable so that our rivers can stay clean and our communities can stay safe. Passing on to my next team member.
Thank you, Sarah. The next part is we'll talk about government perspective. Imagine waking up one day to find your tap water is unsafe to drink and the river you grew up beside turning cloudy and lifeless. This is not a fiction or a story to scare people. It is already happening in several parts of the world, including Malaysia, where more than half of our monitored rivers are classified as polluted. Are we just going to let our Mother Nature suffer from human activities, slowly losing her beauty and fertility? The Malaysian government already has environmental laws, such as the Environmental Quality 1974, to control industrial wastewater pollution. However, the issue is not the policy, but the enforcement. Research by Islam and others, 2023, found that untreated wastewater containing heavy metals is still being released into rivers, especially near industrial zones like Gebang Pahang. So again, this shows that while the government has policies in place, the implementation remains a key challenge. The complication of this can be shown by past research. For example, in 2022, the Department of Environment monitored 672 rivers and found an increase in polluted waterways. Limited manpower and outdated monitoring system make it difficult to detect illegal dumping in real time, allowing industrial waste to continue flowing into rivers. This harms aquatic life, raises the cost of clean water, and can negatively impact tourism, fisheries, and agricultural in long term. So to improve the situation, the government can take more practical steps. So first, introduce real-time digital monitoring system that track river quality 24 hours a day. This system allows instant alerts when pollution occurs, making enforcement faster and more effective. Second, Penalties for repeat offenders should be stronger, including temporary shutdowns or mandatory audit, while companies that treat their wastewater properly can be rewarded with tax incentives. Collaboration with universities, NGOs, and local communities can also make data more transparent and encourage shared responsibility in protecting rivers. Now it is time for Malaysia to act with a stronger enforcement, modern monitoring tools, and community participation. With the right steps, our river can become symbols of progress and sustainability for future generations. Next, I will invite my friend to share her perspective. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Nurin. My name is Rosninda. Next, I will share from community perspective. Have you ever poured used cooking oil or detergent down the drain? We all think it's harmless, but what we don't see is that the small action actually travel through drains and end up in our river, slowly turning clean water into poison. Water pollution is a serious problem in many countries. Most people blame factories, but the truth is households also contribute a higher part of it. Every day, wastewater from washing, cooking, and cleaning goes straight into the drains. This water carries soap, oil, chemicals, even plastic. According to the Department of Environment Malaysia 2022, domestic sewage make up more than half of river pollution in our country. A real example is the Nilai River case in 2024, where household sewage was found to be one of the major causes. When rivers get polluted, oxygen level drop and make fish die and ecosystem collapse. And this polluted water also flow back to us, and we drink it, cooking with it, and use it for the farming. Polluted water will increase the health risks, including skin infection and even long-term disease like cancer. Globally, UNESCO 2023 reported that over 2 billion people still rely on drinking water contaminated with waste. If you continue to ignore this, Malaysia will face higher water treatment costs, water shortage, and bigger threat to public health. So, to solve this, households need to follow simple wastewater practice like treating wastewater before it enters drains, using eco-friendly cleaning products, and avoid oil or greases going down the sink. Local council and NGO can also make the awareness campaign to educate families. If community work together, we can prevent contamination and ensure safe water for everyone. Clean water starts at home. Let's take responsibility. So together we can protect our river to save our environment. Thank you. So I will pass to next presenter.
Okay, thank you, Ruslinda. When we think now, I will proceed to social perspective. When we think of water pollution, we often picture massive factories and major oil spills. But what if the single biggest daily contributor to contaminated rivers and oceans is not a corporation, but you and me, right in our own homes? The core challenge we face is the devastating collective impact of consumer contribution to water pollution. The daily actions of millions of people, the improper disposal of household waste, chemicals, and plastic are a major, yet often overlooked source. This vast dispersed source of pollution adversely affects the water bodies necessary for life, ultimately impacting human health and sustainable social development. The problem starts because most individuals simply lack the awareness of how common household products contaminate water systems. Consumers frequently flush non-biodegradable items and use products containing microplastics, particles smaller than 5 millimeters. These microplastics, along with chemicals and detergents, persist in the environment and now found in our rivers, seas, and even our tap water, acting as carriers of toxins. And globally, an estimated 80% of industrial and municipal wastewater is discharged without prior treatment. If consumer behavior doesn't change, unsafe water sources will be continued to spread. And to solve this, we propose establishing a national digital literacy campaign on water stewardship targeted at consumers, starting with educational outreach in schools and local communities. This initiative would be led by the government agencies and local council. The campaign focuses on driving behavioral change, educating individuals on the proper disposal of waste, and highlighting the impact of products like personal care items and synthetic textiles. This system will empower every individual to make informed decisions and directly reducing the volume of toxic chemicals and microplastic entering our water system. And water pollution is a community problem, not just a corporate one. Consumers must be empowered to be part of the solution by demanding transparency and changing their habits. Support businesses that commit to low impact products, speak up when proper disposal methods are ignored, and get involved in local water cleanup initiative. By changing our behavior today and raising awareness, we can ensure cleaner water and safer ecosystem for tomorrow. Now let's make water stewardship a fundamental part of our social contract. That's all from me, and I will pass to Shazan.
Okay, lastly, from academic perspective, we believe that Malaysia rivers are the source of 97% of its fresh water, which yet nearly two-thirds are polluted or slightly polluted. While universities are pioneering breakthrough technologies from solar-powered rivers, cleaners to advanced microalgal water treatment, why we are still facing frequent massive water treatment plant shutdowns caused by pollutions. Academia is the primary engine for research and innovation to solve the nation environmental crisis. Malaysian universities have successfully developed innovative water treatment technologies such as using activated carbon derivative from agriculture waste and also specialize in zeolite filterization system. Furthermore, they are actively involved in community engagement to educate the public on river conservation and provide scientific manpower needed for water quality monitoring. The critical issue is the charm between cutting-edge research and its real-world implementation. Despite significant investment in R&D, there are fundamentally lack of effectiveness in translating academic research into scale business innovation. This translation gap is compounded by policy fragmentation and lack of coherent policy instrument across institutional ministries. Consequently, vital academic solutions and policy recommendations often remain as successful pilot projects or published papers, failing to be adopted by government bodies or commercialized by industry to solve the national scale pollution crisis. So, we propose the establishment of the National Water Technology Center, NWTC, which is a consortium led by designated research universities and also funded through a joint public-private grant scheme. The NWTC would serve as a centralized bridge between universities' lab and national implementation agencies. It's mandate to, number one, fast-track commercializations, which provide seed funding and expertise to scale up pattern universities develop water technologies. And the second is policy integration, which is act as a lobby and consulting body to ensure government policy and regulatory standards are immediately updated based on the latest academic fundings. So we urge the Ministry of Higher Education and in partnership with the Ministry of Natural Resources and Environmental Sustainability to immediately allocate funds to establish the NWTCs. We believe that universities' vice chancellors also play a role, which they must restructure their researchers' KPIs to prioritize policy impact and commercialize viability of a sheer publication count. So that's all from me. Thank you.